Hey, welcome back. We got a knife here. Definitely excited about this one. I saw this drop. I finally saw one of the HMC knives drops hit, and I was a little, I like literally realized it 2 minutes before, and just grabbed one of the knives really quickly. I didn't even realize I grabbed one of the Framelocks instead of I kind of prefer the subliner that he makes, but still excited to get one of these in hand. It looks like I kept that off the screen, so that's good. And I think this could be really interesting because I've never gotten to handle one of Jim's Framelock knives. So let's jump into it here, and whoa, super light. Wow, that's way lighter than I was expecting. This is much lighter than my full tie version. So this particular one, let's see if we have maybe a certificate of authenticity here or something like that. There we go. I like how he made this smaller. The last one he did from the PNWCI show was pretty big, but Jim's super cool. You can just see it here. If you're watching the Sharpened Perspective podcast, this is just a really cool member of the community in terms of a knife maker. Very interesting knife. So Transient 3.2 Framelock Magnacut at 63 Rockwell hardness. Very nice. Black Richlite micarta in titanium, black and titanium accents. So you can see that here. And on the, I didn't realize actually when I was looking at it, I thought it was a darkened tie. And I'm really excited actually about this because it's crazy light. We're gonna weigh it against the one I already have. That's full tie, but this feels really good. So let's get some of this stuff out of the way here. I like how he's packaging this up now. Here's the old packaging that he used. So I have this brilliant, I mean, it's really a cool build. One of his subliners, and it has this cool Taipan Damascus. It's really a beautiful knife, but it's quite a bit heavier than this one. This is pretty crazy. So let's weigh these in, and we will go from there. So here's my existing one, full tie subliner, 4.06 ounces. Not bad, but definitely not a lightweight, right? It's not a bug out. This is 2.77 ounces. So that is like a really light knife. I'm gonna bring a little more light over here, so hopefully that'll help a bit. 2.77, you know, for this kind of cutting edge is pretty darn impressive. So let's see what we think overall here. The action on this one feels a little stronger. The detent's a bit stronger than my other one. See, I just missed that there even. Let's see if he's chamfering. Yep, he's chamfering the thumb hole, so that's nice there. Sorry, got a little something on there. So it does feel really good. I do notice that it's a little more susceptible to the lock bar pressure than my other one. And it's just a little stronger detent. Like it's a bit harder to get. Like I'm putting some pretty serious strength on there and it's not popping out. So it's a very strong detent. Cool speed holes on the Richlite here. But wow, 1.3 ounces less. I mean, it's approaching half the weight of the other Transient that I have. So that's a pretty impressive knife there at that point. These are all made in the USA out of, I think, Pennsylvania. Let's see if we have a little more info here from Jim. Yep, Erie, Pennsylvania. So he's a really fantastic machinist, and as you can see here, does some pretty fantastic work. Now this one looks like it is a, yep, it is a nice little, where's my, I've moved all the stuff around here in my office, so sorry, jump off screen. There we go. Needed a little towel there to clean this off. Nice hollow ground blade. This guy just takes a lot of pride in his work. Like, I haven't looked at this yet, but I'm just going to know that this is going to be a really nice plunge. Look at that, super even, very nice. So he's gone into doing a much higher production. He's now dropping these off the website. You used to have either a book spot or basically catch them at a knife show. Let's see, some people started to say that I should cut paper a little more. no problem there. It's not the sharpest knife that I've ever handled, but it is right up there. It's very sharp, very well sharpened. Nice work, Jim. So yeah, now that he's kind of doing a little higher volume, the subliners in the drop, which this was not from the drop, this is a full like knife show. I don't want to call it custom, but CNC mid-tech. The ones that he did on subliner sold out in seconds from what I could see. And then these sat up there for maybe like 5 minutes, these Framelocks. I grabbed one of them. A few other people grabbed some, obviously. I don't know what volume he's doing exactly. He's not publicizing the exact volume, I don't think, of his drops. Interesting. I don't remember that jimping on my other one. Let's take a look. It is there. Didn't notice it maybe in the Damascus. But yeah, that's a really interesting knife at that point. Now, the Richlite, it doesn't have quite the heft, so I want to say it feels a little cheaper, but that's probably the best way I could put it. It doesn't feel quite as significant in hand. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. Too much. But it is really nice. Like from a carry perspective, I'd be much more likely to carry this than this one from a weight perspective. And obviously I'm trying to keep this one nice. It's a little fancy. But the other thing that he's changed here is he's using a bigger pivot as opposed to a smaller, bigger pivot hardware rather than a smaller pivot hardware and a collar. So it kind of gives you that in between. It gives you the aesthetic of the pivot collar without having to actually be a pivot collar. So that saves him a little bit of machine time. So these are going for $12.50, like with this kind of config. So you'll see these dropping for $1,200 to $1,300 depending on the build he's doing. And yeah, I'd say all around I'm definitely impressed with what we got here. Again, it's not quite the heft, and it's very strong on the detent. So those have to be considered. This is definitely not as easy to manipulate as my other one. But overall, I'm pretty impressed by what he's doing. Does he have an over travel stop here? Does not have an over travel stop, interestingly. So that's notable for some of you that would prefer to have one. Let's see if we got good lockup and everything. Everything feels good. Interesting. I'll have to think a little bit about what place this might have in the collection. But overall, I think Jim does some beautiful work. He's really going off on his own, doing these in higher volume now than he was before. And that's really great. A lot of people that I've talked to wanted to be able to get their hands on his knives, but either didn't go to a show or couldn't find them on the secondary. I'm just going to move a little more light over here just to further show what's going on here. But, in this kind of stone-washed, higher volume type configuration, lighter weight, I think these have an interesting place in the market. So good job on there, Jim. Appreciate you making that one available. And I'll probably spend a little more time with this offline, just get a feel for it. I may do a second video on this one just to further get acclimated. But ergo's good, weight feels good, pocket clip feels good. Closing action feels good, a little strong on the detent, might work itself in a little bit. It feels already a little easier than when I first got it. So, but for anyone that likes a nice crisp reverse flick, they're gonna love this. And yeah, cool to see him making these knives available in a bigger volume than before. So hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.